Good evening, welcome back to Talking Rays. It's 24 hours later, Naj. 24 hours later, the dust has settled, and I still feel like we should be in prison for that last night. We should be in the absolute prison for that last night. That was a robbery of all sorts. It was one of the biggest smash and grabs I've ever seen. But normally, Naj, we're normally on the other end of that. We're normally on the other end of the smash and grab. I always go back to the Atletico Madrid game when we won the league that season. Atletico Madrid in the Champions League. Oblak had the game of his life. They got a goal from was it Llorente that got the goal? It was one mistake at the back in keeper, and we got knocked out. Went on to win the league.
Yeah.
Last night, we actually was at the other end of a smash and grab, a proper smash and grab, because 2 shots all game, 1 shot on target. We got absolutely battered.
Yeah.
But isn't it nice to be on the other end, though?
You know what? Like, I had a stream last night. I did a stream after, straight after the game. I was going to do like sort of a watch long, but I didn't end up doing it in the end. So I just did it straight after. And I had quite a lot of people in it, and they were saying, I just said like, it was robbery. Like, I thought it was ridiculous. Like, the performance was actually terrible. Like, I actually thought we couldn't get the foot on the ball. We couldn't do the simple basic stuff probably the first half. Second half, I'd say, was a slight improvement. Obviously, limited the sort of attacks. He started some very good ones. By the way, PSG, fantastic team. I'm not going to take that away from them.
Yep.
But Liverpool weren't at the races yesterday. But fortunately, we had a good horse in the race. I'd say Alisson, unbelievable yesterday. But yeah, I was just saying on the stream, it's happened so many times to Liverpool. Like, it happened, the most memorable one, not too dissimilar. It was obviously the Champions League final 2022 when we absolutely obliterated that Real Madrid goal, and Courtois had an absolutely unbelievable performance. But yeah, I mean, Atletico Madrid won as well. I did think Adrian was playing for them though, that game in 2020. But yeah, I mean, it's like I can say, sometimes you play bad and you get a result like that, and it's great. I think that almost helps you in a way, because when you play so poor, you can still win. It makes you even more confident in other games. But if we did that every game in the Champions League, I know it's not the prettiest thing, but we got to the final and won it. Who cares?
Yeah. One thing I do worry about, though, that if we do that every single game, I don't think we'll get away with it every single game, because it's not sustainable at all. But as all season, Arne Slot, Liverpool Arne Slot, we seem to be getting wins no matter what happens. I've never seen us play like that though for a long time. A long time, where we're absolutely the second best team. I thought, we didn't control the game against City. I thought that would be the case. I thought they'd have all the ball City. But we weren't battered like that. We were still very, very good at what we did at the game. Last night, I think we just pretty much rode a luck a lot. The offside was literally his heel, wasn't it? It was the back of his leg.
I mean, how much better is that technology though than what we have now?
Oh yeah. Yeah.
If I was if I was, if that happened to Liverpool, say like, I don't know, like say for example, Salah was offside like that, I'd have no problem with it, because it's you can see it, you can see what's happening. I think
it's black and white, isn't it? It's black and white. Yeah.
That's what we like. I don't think the offside is the worst thing in refereeing at the minute currently in the Premier League. I think there's a lot more worse things happening than that right now. But I mean, for just to get rid of one of the issues, if you like, that needs to come in. I think they're trialing it now, aren't they? I believe the semi-auto.
Yeah. I'm hoping to do it. I think when they put it in the FA Cup, was they talking about the FA Cup? They're talking about it being trialled. That helped massively. I mean, it was quite clear last night that it was unlucky it was offside. It was literally just his heel, but it was offside, and that's what the technology is for. I mean, if that was VAR, normal VAR by referees, it'd been penalty to PSG, wouldn't it? So, it'd been penalty to PSG. So, yeah, in terms of that offside. But, yeah, it was a mad game. It was a mad game. I mean, the first half,
oh, it was shocking.
In like half time, I thought, Arne Slot's going to get into him here. He's going to fucking wait the fuck up, because Arne Slot has standards, and he's quite clear that he'll have those out at half time. But the second half, it seemed to be just the same. No change. They as soon as they got the ball, they whacked it upfield, didn't they, to get a throw in, and they thought, just pin him in, we'll get the ball back. And they did that. But the Slot made the right subs at the right time.
Yeah.
Nunes actually made a big difference for once. Like, this is what Nunes is though. It's one time he'll turn up and do something good, but then he'll forget about all the bad games he's had. But it's nice for him to do that if he is going to go at the end of the season. Make sure he is doing things like he's coming on to change games like that. It'd help us out massively. That was a big moment to bring Nunes on because that high line that PSG were playing, he got him behind him, got in the face a little bit, got out 50-50 duel. He got lucky a little bit, but he worked for it. He won the duel. And that was composure for Nunes. Composure, because normally he'd have shot and he'd hit someone at the top of the stand.
Yeah.
He saw Elliot coming on the right wing and he laid it off for him perfectly.
Ended up on the boat back at Dover. He had a shot.
Yeah.
But he picks his moments, Nunes. He's a crazy player. Like, obviously, a lot of Liverpool fans, including myself, have been on his back, for his performances of recent times. Like, when he's come on the pitch, he's not featured in the last two games, has he? Previous to this, the City and the Newcastle game, I believe. But in terms of the performances before that, he come on the pitch, he just like walking about, especially the Villa game. Obviously, I think that was sort of confirmed for me that Slot is not interested in keeping him. But he picks his moments, Nunes. I mean, he's responded. Slot dropped him for 2 games. Obviously he's not been starting at any games of such really, but he got dropped and then he came in and he did what he frustrated him. And you're right, he got in the face. Jota for me yesterday. I don't know. It's a bit of a weird performance by Jota. He almost looked tired. I didn't get why. I mean, PSG are running Liverpool ragged at times, but Jota's usually quite on his toes, isn't he? I think he just looks a bit knackered. But Nunes come on. It was like you say, perfect timing of the subs. I thought when Jones came on, he was superb actually. Brought a little bit of control into the midfield, like when he kept dragging it wide in the left and then controlling it and bringing it back in. I thought that was good because it obviously took the pressure off the defence and the midfielders. I was going to say about the midfield. Like I didn't think the midfield wasn't that bad yesterday. I mean, it's almost like good in bits. I thought McAllister and Gravenberg, like for me, they were covering so much that the channels. I know it should have been Salah and Diaz. I thought Diaz was probably the worst player, if I'm going to be totally honest. But they covered well, I'd say. Obviously, they still got shots off PSG. They're a fantastic team. They're a team in form. They haven't lost a game in 10 games. I mean, look how many goals he scored against Brest the other day. What is it, 7? And then they scored 4 against him in the cup or something like that. So
yeah, they beat Lille at weekend as well. Was it 4-1, 4-0? Yeah.
I mean, free flowing score. And I think, the subs were perfect. And I think there's one man I want to give a shout out to one man, and I think you know what I'm going to say. Wataru Endo. He comes on that pitch and he doesn't even do much, but he does. You know what I mean? Like he stops everything.
He gets his body involved, doesn't he? I mean, he put a brilliant tackle in. I can't think who it was against. He put a brilliant tackle in it. He let him know though. He let him know that he were there.
He on, and he just, for me, I've said this for a good couple of months now. I knew that Endo wasn't going to be a starting midfielder for Liverpool because he hasn't got the legs for 90 minutes. We know that he's 32. But when he does come on the pitch, it's like there's no like what's the word I'm looking for? He just comes on, does the job. Like he's like the perfect role model, I think.
Yeah.
And the Wolves game, he came on, he was superb in that. He just shuts the shop up, I think. And then when he came on yesterday, he came at the perfect time. Obviously we scored not long after he came on. But anything that comes into that midfield, he was on it. And that's what you want. You just want that.
And that's what we're missing all game, though. We're missing someone that could have that number 6 area nailed down.
Yeah.
Where that's where their midfield was dominating. McAllister and Gravenberch had a lot of defensive work to do, but they're not natural sixes, are they? I mean,
no.
This is why it's so important to see. Last night showed that it's very important that we do go get a natural 6 and allow Gravenberch to play in his position.
Yeah.
Because in a game like that, when a team like that is so technically gifted, we need to break up that play. We need to stop them playing football. They're allowed to play football last night. And Diaz, you mentioned Diaz, that he was You know what? Salah was awful as well. Not letting Salah get away. It was
Oh.
fucking dreadful with Salah. But Diaz does this every week now. He's getting frustrated to the point where is he gone? Do you think?
I don't know. I think with Salah, I said this to a few people. I said it on my live stream as well. I said the thing is with Salah, he's allowed to have that bad game.
Yeah.
Like people were, saying so much stuff about him yesterday, and I was just like, listen, the man's been performing at a level so high that no one's even near him. So can he have a bad game? Yes, of course he can. But yeah, there's no disputing that Salah didn't have a bad game yesterday. He did. He knows that. But with the Diaz sort of situation, it's every game really now, isn't it? It's like every couple of games, absolute stinker. And like yesterday, he was so poor. There was like a couple of moments where he got the ball and like off Robertson, and like where he'd usually like take it round someone or maybe like just try and play the channel. He just didn't do that. There was one where he hit it out for a throw in. I was just like, what is going on here? I knew he would get hooked, Diaz, before at that 60-minute mark or whatever. Slot made the first substitution because he was almost carrying him, I think, at times.
And what shut him off, mate? What shut him off for me was their wingers because Vatsikelia, Barcola, Dembele, all wingers. No, Dembele. They sort of kept swapping, didn't they, up front? Vatsikelia went up front in the second half. But those wingers, when they had the ball, you didn't know what they were going to do with it. But Diaz is so predictable now. It's so easy to defend against.
It's just come inside every time. It's coming
inside.
And he comes inside, or it's two things he always does, and it really frustrates me at the minute. He either comes inside and then dribbles into the covering centre mid or the covering player in the middle, or he like turns round and like passes it to Robertson or Van Dijk mainly aimed at Robertson this because he passed it to Robertson and he'll have a man on him. I'm just like, take defense and go forward with the ball. There's always someone in the middle. There's always McAllister running alongside him, and like ever seems to a really frustrating thing he does as well at the minute is Robertson or whether it be Jones or McAllister always make that overlapping run. And he never gives it them. He never.
Yeah.
And it obviously.
And that was key. That was key when Manny and Robertson was the link up. That was very, very key, that overlap.
And I think I know Robertson this season has had his poor moments. Yeah, you can tell his legs are going. He's still a good player. I'll stand by that. He's still defensively a good player. My light's gone off. Defensively, he's still a good player. But the issue is he's got no assist this season, Robertson. And is that down to Robertson? I was thinking this last night. I actually don't think it is. I think it's down to probably Luis Diaz. Because he's still, I mean, some of the crosses from Robertson aren't great anymore, but he's still obviously got, he got a top assister in the league for being a defender, so he can't be that bad. He can't be bad, can he? And I think he just doesn't get the ball enough. I don't know. With Diaz, were you saying he might go? I don't know. Do you think he'll go? I don't know.
I think if Slot's allowed to let him go, I think he'll let him go. Depends on what else, because we need so many options. We need so many movements happening, especially with Salah and Van Dijk. We don't know what's going on with them too. By the way, Undertaker's just behind you. You do take a quick look around. You see Undertaker just staring in your face. But I think if he's allowed to, I think Slot doesn't like Diaz. He much prefers Gakpo. When Gakpo's there, he'll play him on the left. He started playing Diaz up front.
Yeah,
he's just not doing it, is he? And I think Slot's standards is so high, he'll see that himself.
I almost think as well, like with Gakpo, and I said this since he joined Liverpool. Like a lot of people weren't really fond of him. I think Gakpo he's quite a unique winger in a way, I'd say, because he doesn't look like a winger, does he? He's very tall, and then
he's built like a midfielder, like a Grav, yeah.
Yeah, he's built like a 7 centimetre, isn't he? But with Gakpo, he's got something that Diaz hasn't got, and that is that threat of scoring. I don't like. There's many games go past with Luis Diaz, and when he first come to Liverpool, he was electric. He was fantastic.
Yeah.
But games go past. I watch him play, and I'm like, I don't think he's going to score. I don't think.
Yeah.
But when Gakpo's playing, I almost think. Well, currently now as well. Now he's on the left wing. it's more of a threat. And then if I think that and I don't even play against them, wonder what the other teams think. And I feel like with Gakpo as well, he's sort of good at just shooting on sight, isn't he? And it catches people out. Like he's so good at doing that.
And he's good at getting out his feet to get a shot away. Like Diaz tries it, but he don't get away from his feet quick enough, and he always gets tackled or runs into someone or makes a bad touch. Gakpo is so quick at getting out his feet and onto his right foot, the defender can't react to it.
Yeah, it's an underrated thing to do. I think like there's not a lot of. I mean, there's not a lot of players, I say, but there's not a lot of players do it well. Like I know Salah's obviously probably the best at doing that, but having two players like that on either wing with Gakpo and Salah, it's frightening, isn't it? Like if you're a defender, if someone can get out the feet and get that half a yard and shoot, and let's be honest, Gakpo's shooting is off the charts, isn't it? Like the power he gets behind it and stuff like that. The goals against West Ham, for example. There's been loads this season. But yeah, and as also as well, he chances it in the box. Gakpo, he'll go, and I don't think Diaz does. Where there was a ball last night. I know it wasn't great. Salah put a ball over, and I can't remember if Diaz was on the pitch at the time. I think he was, yeah. And it was a bad ball by Salah. I think Donnarumma caught it, but there was like no movement from that area. But Mane of
as an attacker, you take a chance that year. You take that risk here.
Like Mane of previous years, Firmino of previous years, and now currently Gakpo now would have took a chance on that because it's an attempt on a goal. But I don't know. I do like Luis Diaz. I do agree with you though. I don't think Slot. I don't think he'll be. I don't think he'll keep him. I don't think he will. I think there's going to be. I mean, look, I'm not believing it. I'd love it to happen. I think the Isak scenario would be great, but it's going to have to be Núñez. He'll be going. We already know that anyway.
Yeah.
It's just who else goes. I mean, do you sell Elliot? I don't think you do with his age. I like him. I've probably said before, maybe sell him. I don't know where Elliot. Like he deserves to play more games. I think
he does. I don't think he suits Slot. Slot likes physical players, doesn't he? That's it. It's just unfortunate with Elliot. He's not a physical guy, is
he? He's almost like he's like a Spanish midfielder of old or something like that.
Yeah.
He's good on the ball and really technically good, but he's not quick and he's not strong. And that's two things that Slot looks for. But yeah, I mean with Diaz, he's not really offering much, is he, at the minute? Like, and I don't know whether he. It's the question is, who do you bring in, or do we?
Yeah.
I know Ben Dokes had a good loan spell out in Middlesbrough, and then there's obviously there's Kumas is out at Stoke as well. We obviously got Rio. I mean, I think he's a bit too young yet, to be honest.
Yeah.
All three of them can play there, and I'm obviously forgetting one, Chiesa. He can play back up for Gakpo. So I think it's maybe what happens with regards of the transfers. Do you keep Diaz because you're still going to get maybe a 6 out of 10 consistently, maybe a 5 out of 10. I mean, it's not the best, but you're still going to get someone who's competent enough to play there. Gakpo's not.
Is it because we've got other things to sort out first? It might sort of go on the back burner a little bit.
Yeah, that's what. Yeah, that's what I'm sort of saying. I think the main thing is left back and striker, without a shadow of a doubt. It's just it's not fair to play Robbo there anymore, and I think he'll.
Yeah.
I think he knows that himself. I don't think we all need to tell him. I think he knows. He can tell the way he is at the minute. I mean, last night, the Dembele when he went past him, the Dembele thing. I
felt bad watching it. Dembele. I mean, that was it. First half, it was like quite early on, 20 minutes in. He skipped past. I don't think McAllister came over. He skipped past two of them, and he left them both for absolute dead.
I mean, Dembele is a speed machine.
Yeah.
Robertson have said even 2 years ago, he wouldn't let that happen.
No.
And I think now it's just what happens, isn't it? If unfortunately, if you run as much as Robertson's done for Liverpool and put as much effort in, you pay the price, don't you? In sort of your body starts deteriorating quickly.
Yeah. Before we do go there, Naj, last night we saw Aisson Becker masterclass. It was the reason why he's number one in the world, the best keeper in the world. But Mamardashvili coming in the summer, this guy's wanting number one. He's not getting number one. Not when you see last night. And also another bit on Trent as well, because Trent was fantastic last night defending as well. Trent can't defend, it's bollocks. He can defend. Games like that will prove that he can defend. Van Dijk was good again. Kanate, he was all right.
Yeah.
Defense wasn't too bad. I think Robertson was probably the weak one of each one, but I think that was more Dembele.
Yeah.
But yeah, Trent, Alisson especially though, Aisson Becker.
And this is why I say to people, keepers underrated, and you've got a keeper of that caliber. He's the best in the world. I'm not even saying that because I'm a Liverpool fan. He is. He just proved that last night. Like, you watch that performance, he just, you could see in the PSG players' faces that they were like, "What do we?"
They couldn't believe what was going on there.
What do we have to score? And like, when that fear, I think you put the fear into strikers or players like that, it almost feels like an impossible thing to do. And you was looking at the faces, they're all like, every time they had a shot, and it was like, Alisson saves it again, Alisson saves it again. But with Mamardashvili coming in, lad, stay in Valencia. Because I just think
he wants number one. He wants number one as well. But I like that he wants number one. I like how he's coming out with that attitude. But
yeah, but there's no chance. Look, if I was John Emery, we wouldn't be that true. We wouldn't have Nuno. But it was good last night. I was like, oh. But yeah, if I was John Emery, like, goalkeepers famously don't, they last longer, don't they? Look at Van der Sar. Won the league United at 37. Alisson's 33. He is quite injury prone, I will say that, for a keeper, Alisson. And I think I've noticed Van Dijk taking the goal kicks a few times. Maybe that's because of his hamstring, I presume. Because that seems to be always the injury that happens to Alisson. It's like the hammy. But what's he got? 18. I think he's got 18 months left of his contract. Give me your extension. Mamardashvili comes in. I presume Kelleher's going in the summer. I think that's a given. That's happening. Mamardashvili come in. Let him learn off the best. He can learn off the best. He can play. He can do what Kelleher's doing now, and he's done Kelleher no harm, has it? Like, look how good he is, and he could be starting for at least 10 of the Premier League teams.
Yeah.
He'd probably start for Chelsea, to be honest.
Chelsea want him. I mean, they're not getting anywhere with Sanchez at the moment now.
No, and Mamardashvili, I get it. I get why he signed him. He's young. He's actually younger than Kelleher. He's only 23. I get it. He was great at the Euros. I watched him. I was like, wow, what a goalkeeper he is. He looks like he'll be a great talent in a few years. I mean, I say great talent. He's already a good talent now.
Yeah.
But with Alisson, he's just, ever since he's walked through the door at Liverpool, it's made us, like, we was good with Van Dijk and Salah and all that.
We've never had a keeper like him in my time. Pepe Reina was the closest, but Pepe Reina was still nowhere near.
No, like, he is like, without sounding like, oh, just take your red tinted glasses off, lad. Like, I think he is in that conversation of this generation. I won't class Manuel Neuer in it, but of this generation right now, he is the best. Like, Courtois, probably close second. I think Courtois has had amazing games, stuff like that. But just how, he's coming to Liverpool, and we lost the Champions League final the year of Karius. If that had been Alisson in there, we wouldn't have lost that.
We wouldn't.
And that's the difference. How good he is, and not having a good keeper.
Yeah.
Superb. And last night just proved it. The headband gives you powers. I'm going to say this again. I keep saying this to people.
Torres headband.
Yeah.
It's when Torres got rid of the headband and the blonde hair. That's when it turns to crap. Yeah. Get the headbands. We need headbands. Everyone get a headband. Sobber's like a headband now as well.
Yeah, powers.
He's gone to another level.
He's going all the time now.
Yeah. That'd be funny. Everyone wearing headbands. Well, thank you for watching. Make sure you do, like I said, all the time. Please make sure you do like the video. It helps out massively at Talking Reds. Subscribe to the channel as well. We get content out every single day if we can. Live content out as well. So get your notification bells out on. Turn your notification bells on because it will tell you when we're live and when we get a video up as well. But yeah, thank you for watching. Brilliant win. Take them back to Anfield. It is only 1-0. If we play like that again, 1-0 might not be enough, but we still go back to Anfield, and Anfield on European nights is just impossible for some teams. Thank you for watching. Have a great night, guys, and up the Reds.